and the two center backs strong, again, physical, wing fullback strong, and so I think just from the physical side of things, we lost a lot of duels over the course of the night, which made it difficult for us at times when you want to try to settle the game or play out of some pressure. Somewhere on the field, you've got to be able to manage a duel here or there, or be able to play fast enough that you can play yourself out of those situations. And I agree with you. I think a big part of it is we weren't playing and moving fast enough off of some of these situations to support each other, so that we weren't getting into so many confrontations, dueling confrontations, that I felt like it was just very disruptive for us on the evening. You know, I don't know if it's 4 games in a short period of time, 1 day less rest. You can talk through all those things, but we never hit the necessary speed on the night in many regards, and so therefore I felt like we got pretty dominated in a lot of areas of the field and in the game through the course of the night.
And can you explain this weird juxtaposition? Leagues Cup, there's 18 MLS teams. You guys end up being one of the top 4 teams out of those 18. So
Sure.
By that nature, you're one of the best teams in that group of 18. And then coming to the other side, you guys are dead last in the league. I mean, you know, what has anything? Is there something specific to Leagues Cup, smaller tournament maybe? How do you explain any of that?
Yeah, I think a little bit there is who we play, when we play. There's a lot of things. I don't think we have a super deep group when it comes to a lot of games in a short period of time to match some of the physicality of some of these games, and or when it's physical to be able to play at the speed that we needed to play to get ourselves out of some of these confrontations. I felt like, you can see some of these teams who are able to take big rotations and still work through those rotations, and I feel like that's something for us that we still have to build towards. And so I think we've run a lot of guys over the course of these 4 games that are similar. We've moved a couple positions here or there, and I think, physically for us, I just think we lost the game in a lot of ways physical today, and then we couldn't, between tactical and like the technical side of the game and in creating a game with some speed in it on certain ways, we couldn't match it tonight. And so I don't think it was, I think it's, we've seen tonight, there's been a few games over the course of the season where I feel like we were just outplayed across the board. This was one of them. A lot of the other games I think have been, sometimes 50-50, and we haven't been able to get them across. I felt like we did a great job in Leagues Cup of managing the situation the night, hurting the oppositions when they tried to go man-to-man to us. I felt like we were playing faster, moving faster for each other, and finding solutions inside of those games. Tonight we didn't. I don't think we had another gear to get ourselves out of the situation. I think with some rest and another opportunity, hopefully down the road, we can put a much better performance on against these guys.
Hey, Greg, as you look at the upcoming weeks, you have a cross-country trip, and then one back, and then right to Leagues Cup. How do you process that? And you say the route is not deep as you would like it to be, so how do you work your way through the next, maybe week and a half, 2 weeks?
Yeah, I have to just kind of take some inventory out of the course of these 4 games and see just physically kind of where we are going into this week. And make some decisions as we go to Miami, and how we want to utilize Miami, and what that's going to mean for our preparation for Leagues Cup. And I don't have those decisions for you today, so it's something that we just need to think about. Flying across and going across the country to play a game in Miami, to come back to play what's going to be a big game for our season. Just have to think about what that might look like.
And we saw Elijah Winter get on the field tonight. He hasn't been part of the rotation. He was down with G2 for a while. What is this adjustment to struggle? I guess it's been a struggle for him to get adjusted to MLS. What has that process been like?
Yeah, again, I think in what we saw, and he played a bit in the early part of the season, and we've seen some similarities with Lucas. They have some great physical qualities, and I think that's something that we can build with and to give them. They need a little time, and he needs a little time just to connect with some of the other players in terms of, in the moments of the game, the priorities, the speed of play, where the ball needs to get to and go to, recognition of so just some awareness things, I think, to play inside of the intricacies sometimes of our midfield. Like tonight, it's a great game for him because sometimes it's just duels and being able to win some physical moments, and it was an opportunity for him. I'm seeing progress in his game, and I'd like to down the stretch of this season, get him more involved into some of these rotations and get him more minutes. But I think it's just been a process of, for him, it's like if he's going to play in a lower pivot position, then it's his relationship with the other pivot and the timing and moving off of each other, and it's a lot of awareness and intricate sort of things. If he's higher on the field for us, then he's running through lines, and it's about the final product, it's about setting up attacks, things like that. So he's a guy who's learning between those two roles, and I've been trying to figure out, okay, when he continues to evolve as a player, is he better as a lower pivot, or is he going to be more useful for us as a guy who's higher and powerful and running through the line? So to be honest with you, I've been learning a little bit about him and trying to figure out what direction we really want to take him in this process to open up his career, but also to help our team. But he does have the physical tools to compete in this league, and then it's just adding some of the other things that I think make our system sort of function too. So it's not just about the player; it's about how the player fits into the flow of things. Which, to be fair to the guys, other than tonight, has been going pretty well over the last little bit. And Lucas had some back issues, and that's partly why. That's the main reason I didn't put Lucas out there and warm up. He was tightening up and has had some for the last few days, and so I spared him the moment because he's struggling a little bit physically.
Hey Greg, thanks so much for talking to us. Several of the players spoke about in the lead up to the Leagues Cup, the opportunity for a trophy in that tournament, whereas the situation obviously in the league is a little bit more difficult.
Sure.
Do you think that maybe subconsciously the players played down to that level today?
I don't think that was the subconscious, that was the mindset that shifted into us. I think when we got out on the field and the game became physical early and the solutions weren't necessarily coming about as well as they should, and then we started to get behind the game and the solutions, again, we were struggling to find the solutions in the game of how to settle the game into our vision of the game and play it in the way we want, at the speed we need to play at, we just didn't catch it. So I felt like it became a frustrating thing over the course of the night because collectively we weren't finding the necessary level that we needed to be dangerous in goal-scoring chances, not just to have a possession here or there, but to be dangerous or to put pressure on their attacks and to slow them down and things like that. I felt like we never got the feed. I don't think it's subconscious. I think the guy's mindset going out was correct. I just think between not finding the solutions and probably starting to get fatigued through the course of the game by a busy week, we started to get very much kind of behind the game. So that's not an excuse. That's just why I felt like we were too slow. I felt like we weren't winning in some of the physical duels we needed to. I don't think it's subconscious. I just think it's the way the game happened to play itself out.
How much of that was Seattle's press, which felt like it was getting the back line a little bit of trouble coming out of the back? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, some of it was, for sure, some of it was the defending stuff. Again, at the top with two strong center backs, we've got to be able to play through some of these situations cleaner, be a little sharper and play through them, because if we're just hitting balls up to Nasi in these situations, those weren't easy duels for him against their center backs. And so then when we're building, if we're going to build out clean, we've got to be sharper. And again, I felt like we were just a little slow at playing some of the balls in between the lines. Maybe sometimes we're just too far apart, so we couldn't play as quickly as we needed to. Again, I just felt like there were a lot of things that were a little disconnected over tonight for a lot of reasons. Their press certainly disrupted us on the night, but we've managed presses like that before. And again, they have some physical guys out there and they're physically confident, but we've managed the press before, and it just comes down to you have to play faster, you have to play cleaner, you have to arrive for each other, and you have to do things in less touches. I felt like we were in too many dribbling duels, and we lost the ball in the dribble more times tonight than I've seen us lose the ball in the dribble in many times. And for me, these are examples of either we weren't there fast enough in support of each other, or we're not recognizing the solutions fast enough and playing quick enough. And either of those things can create the same situation, which is too much dribbling, too much loss of possession and on the dribble, game disruption, transitions going the other direction. Now you're transitioning back to try to defend, which takes more and more energy, and you start to burn yourself over the course of the game. But I just felt like, again, we never hit the speed. I think it's simple as that. And against a team like this, you've got to be able to play at the top speed and execute at top speed, or you're going to be under it.
Hey, Coach. Sorry for the loss. It's been a while since we saw Zaka play. I'm curious, what are the factors that you take into consideration for him to play, and where you think it fits in the scoring?
Yeah, I think just for him specifically, he's been a huge asset for our team in the training environment, leadership environment, working with our younger players on the defensive side, doing things like that. He just hasn't had a ton of minutes, and when he isn't playing all the time, it's a difficult ask for him to step out and to catch the speed of a game like this or some of these games. Even the other night when he put him on just to get him going, again, he's a little deeper than everybody else, and managing his spaces a little bit more. And so I just feel like he's kind of at that point again where he's really kind of helping the group on the whole, but in some of these games they're difficult ask. I like him in the back three sometimes. If we're going to play him in a three, I feel like his leadership and management of situations is a little better, but he needs to be in a rhythm, and he just hasn't had the games, and we haven't used him enough for him to feel like he's really there. And I think it's just kind of where we're at and where he's at the moment.
Josh,
Go ahead.
Hey, Greg, thanks for talking to us. So I was curious your perspective on Mitrovic's performance tonight. You know, he mishandled a couple balls there. I was just wondering, was there any thoughts about potentially making a switch or anything like that?
No, I mean, the only reason I would have made a switch is because I felt like Novak was tired or just had a lot of games back to back to back to back. Ultimately we're investing in Novak's continued progression, and sometimes dealing with busy parts of the season is what you're going to need to do if you're a starting goalkeeper. So that's part of it. I'd have to go back honestly and kind of review totally how I felt about his game. I felt like there was a lot of other things that I was thinking about over the course of the game, and that wasn't the specific one that was catching my attention, if I'm being honest. So I'd have to go back and look.
Craig, just a quick one on Amiro. Do you have any injury updates on him?
Yeah, we had X-ray and MRI, both negative, more on a contusion. So day to day, we'll see how he manages over the course of this week in terms of preparation for what's to come. I suspect he'll be 100% ready for Leagues Cup, and it's a question of what we do for him going into Miami.
Any questions? And last, we'll wrap with Sophie on Zoom. Go ahead, Sophie.
Hey, Greg. It's definitely been a disappointing season in the league. What's the one thing that's disappointed you the most about this season?
Yeah, I think we've never really caught our best form inside of the league on and been there consistently. Again, I feel like that's been the case. We haven't executed. We've given up goals soft. In every season you have days where games go bad or go wrong and you don't get things right, or guys are a little tired or whatever, and you have all of those moments. But for us, we've just never been able to catch any sort of consistent sort of form and rhythm inside of the league and gotten results out of it, and closed out games when we need to close out games. In this stretch, we haven't lost many games in the last stretch. This is the second game we've lost out of the last 7 or 8 or 9. So the sky's falling, I get it, but we've also been much better form since the half turn of the season. We've actually been doing okay. There was probably 3 or 4 games where we needed to close those games out better and take points, and we gave away goals literally in the 90 plus. And so I think it's been about learning how to win, and this group making the adjustments, me as well, and all of us making the adjustments based on the guys that we lost and who we have to get results. Still play the way we want to play, but see out results. I think we've been a lot better over the last stretch. I think we had a great Leagues Cup run. I think we played some good teams in Leagues Cup. We managed some teams that wanted to press us. We took care of them. We managed teams that want to sit back. We broke them down and we scored. So tonight it didn't fit together. We played a good team and it didn't fit together. So we'll keep battling into, and the Leagues Cup is the big thing that we want to try to, obviously it's the trophy that we get and maybe a Champions League spot, but we'll keep battling through the rest of the league and keep trying to bring guys forward and keep trying to play our best every single game. That's what we're going to do.
All right. Can we get your early thoughts on it?
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't watched them closely. I feel like I watched a lot of games through the course of Leagues Cup just because of the nature of every game sort of mattered there in the first round. But I don't, they're a good team, that's for sure. But I don't recall specifics. I'll get into some of that now that things are calming down. But I feel like these games have been coming so fast that I haven't had the chance to look beyond what's been right in front of us. And to be fair, Seattle played the exact same 3 teams that we played during Leagues Cup, so we saw a lot of them during the course of Leagues Cup, and we had a lot of mutual opponents. So watching them was actually easy because we were same teams we were playing time after time. But I haven't looked beyond this little scope of games at all in the last little bit. So we'll take a look and get ourselves prepared for Miami, and then lead that into what's to come after that.
All right, thank you for that.
Thanks.
Next up, we'll be joined shortly by LA Galaxy captain Maya Yoshida.
Attendance? The attendance was 18,748.
So 18,748.
18,748. Maya's en route. It's a cell phone tower that went out in Carson.
Get out to the city. Get back to the city. Where it's safe.
And we are now joined by LA Galaxy captain Maya Yoshida. If you have questions in person, be ready. And on Zoom, raise your hand. Go ahead, Josh.
Hey, Maya, thanks for talking to us, appreciate it. Talking with Greg, he said maybe you guys never really got going in this game. Did you feel like there was sort of a lack of urgency or speed in this game?
I think until we conceded the first goal, did okay, and I don't feel like they created a lot. But after one goal and immediately second goal, then the game changed already. Then 2 goals down, then we have to chase them and become different game. After that, yes, as coach say, it was very difficult, and they have dominated us very well. Great team, to be honest, but surely we were not enough today.
Is there this weird sort of comparison between Leagues Cup, where you guys are one of the top 4 teams out of 18 teams in MLS, and just the league where you guys sit at the very bottom? Is that something that plays into games like tonight?
But to be fair, the Santos and Seattle is different. They're much better team, to be honest, and also the situation they have after two games, after third game in the Leagues Cup and the league game is different as well. But yeah, we should as I say after the game, we should bring these vibes to the League Cup, league games as well. But today it wasn't, and today no one had the standard level of the game, and none of us, to be honest. And even we changed the shape, we changed the players second half, four players immediately. Then also we couldn't bring the balls in front, and we didn't dominate the ball behind. And absolutely not enough today.
You guys have to travel, to Miami and then come back for League Cup. How you go about processing that, long trip there, long trip back, and then right into preparation for Pachuca on Wednesday?
Always like this, MLS. Sometimes we go to Minnesota, come back. Sometimes we go to New York and come back. So this is a key part of the MLS. Maintain the away trip and how many points we can get. Also, how much we can keep our fitness during the traveling. This is the key, and I think everybody knows now, especially me. I know how to manage my body, so I'm not worried about this. Of course, it's tough, very tough, but also sometimes I'm excited to play against Inter Miami, one of the most famous clubs in the MLS, and also the League Cup. Realistically, we have to focus on that competition as well. So next two games are fully focused as always, and the League Cup and also League games both are already like knockout stage for us.
And as you look back to the first three games in League Cup, what did you like about how the group, how the group handled those three games?
League Cup?
Yeah.
Just
how you guys prepared and went after those three games.
Better bonus. To be honest, I think my first season I didn't understand this competition, and last season even we didn't qualify, and now I could understand how it is. And now, this third season, I'm pretty understanding how important this League Cup is, and we should focus, how much we should focus as well. And we did okay so far. Of course, from now on, it's the real part, and this is more difficult. If you look the tournament, Seattle, Miami, Pachuca, these teams are really good. So it's going to be tough, but it will be really exciting.
Okay, Ryan, thanks so much for talking to us. Greg mentioned that the team never really seemed to get going. The team seemed like it was a different team that played in the League Cup. You mentioned that the opponent was different. Greg mentioned as well the fixtures for in a short span. Why do you think the team looked so different than just a couple of days ago? Thank you.
Actually, this is what I say. Different teams, opponent, and like Santos, first 2-3 minutes, I put ball behind, and immediately we can dominate the breaking line. But Seattle is one of the most solid team in the MLS, and no one cheat. 11 players, even the subs, they fight 50-50. They cover each other, then they help each other. This is I think, very matured, one of the most matured squad in MLS.
Hi, Maya. Thank you for your time. You're obviously a very experienced player on the team. You've had a long career. In MLS, it's a unique situation in a sense because you might get to a point where playoff becomes less realistic. You're not fighting relegation though, but you got to keep the intensity up somehow. Do you have anything that you can look back on in your career to draw inspiration from, and what is it that you can pass along to your teammates of how to keep that intensity up?
Yeah, that was my concern as well before I come here. And, you know, I came mid-season 2013, no, 2023. And yeah, we are almost out of the tournament. And that was my biggest concern. But, you know, the team really want to win. Also, the player want to improve every game. So I have no, of course, this is probably the atmosphere in the stadium is less excitement, but as a team, we want to play better, we want to win, and also the no relegation battle means we can try to put football with the soccer as much as we can. Like even we are bottom of the league, if it's in Europe, everybody kick long balls and fight. Just kick and fight. This is different from MLS. Instead, we play, we try to build up, and we try to distribute from the behind. And even they are like one of the top in the league so far, and we are bottom of the league, but still we can break the line many times, and that's never happened in Europe. That's a big difference. And I think I take that a very positive way because the fans want to watch to see how we play probably.
All right. Thank you for your time. Wait, actually, give me one more second. Just Sophie, one last question on Zoom. Sophie, go ahead.
Hi Maya, I asked the same question to Greg. I'd love your thoughts too. What's been the most disappointing thing for you this season in the league?
As a team, we started really not great. That's first mistake, I think. And you know, even good team, sometimes if you start not well, then difficult to recover. And we took a very long time to recover. Also, we had a different competition, CONCACAF, and we had to travel. We didn't have a time to fix it, and that is first difficult moment. After that, of course, we lost a lot of points, and the team wasn't experienced enough, I would say. And then too many conceding the goal. This is the biggest pain for myself, and of course, personally, conceding a lot is really hurt me, and also got injured already twice, which is not normal for me. It's very, very disappointed about that. This is the two biggest disappointment for me. At the same time, this is different. I first become champion, then I understand I'm learning now how difficult it is after the season, after become champion. Then also, as playing as a champion, then more pressure, more like analyze from opponent. That's different challenge for me, and even difficult moment I could learn many things, especially, you know, when things going well, everybody say, oh yes, you good, that's easy life, but the only we can realize myself, and when the difficult moment, especially the leaders, the coach, this kind of person, and we have to show the character, we have to show the identity in the difficult moment. So this is a test for me, long season test, and I'm still taking that.
All right, thank you for your time, Maya.
Thanks.
And with that concludes our press conference. We'll share media assets next week. We'll have media availability on Wednesday.